You would have a queen!
You would have a queen! Yeah!
Hey guys, welcome back to our reaction to the Rings of Power show. Today we are watching the finale, the last episode.
It's here!
And we are gonna see where they take this in the end of this
feel like
season.
These last 7 weeks have flown by. Like, I feel like we just started it.
It's crazy.
I think you guys need to decide whether or not we are being paid by Amazon or we're too nitpicky about the show, because both times,
There's
whether
haters on both sides.
whether we enjoy the show, as in 2 episodes ago where we were really having a good time with it, and then last episode we weren't the biggest fans of last episode and a little more critical of last episode, we get these comments where it's like, oh, you guys are, how much are you being paid by Amazon? And then we get other comments, y'all are too nitpicky. And so it's like, okay. Anyway, I just think it's funny.
There's a lot of toxicity around this show.
Yeah.
And no matter what you say, people are gonna rage.
We're trying to contribute something positive to the sphere. We're just trying to have fun and give our honest, genuine thoughts. We like to think of ourselves as like what we're doing here is just kind of like what anyone could experience if they're just sitting down with their friends. You know what I mean? It's like we're just kind of having a chill time. We're not trying to do anything too crazy except just have honest, fun reactions, because we just like having fun, and this is fun for us.
Oh, really?
Right. Well, I mean that the primary motivation for what we do behind these reactions is not even to prove a point about anything. It's just to have fun, you know? And so
we're just being our honest selves and just reacting with our genuine thoughts. We've enjoyed the show.
We have.
It's been fun.
We have. We've laughed, we've cried.
Yeah, there's been great moments. There's been a lot of things that are really
We've cried multiple occasions.
Well done.
Yeah.
But there's also flaws, as with anything, and it's definitely not, you know, as good as it could be. The main flaw we think is in the writing, some of the writing and the dialogue. So
and plot decisions.
Yeah. But we are fans of Tolkien, we're fans of movies, and we're just trying to enjoy it for what it is. The last episode, a few things did make us laugh though. So
we'll see if they stick the landing in this
happens.
Episode, because I have high hopes. I genuinely do have high hopes that we're going to come away from this being like, oh yeah, they stuck the landing, but you never know.
I feel neutral.
Either way, it's going to be fun. But before we get into the episode, we have our a bingo table actually, and I think that this will be fun.
Eric thought we should do Rings of Power bingo for
yes,
this last
I
episode.
think that it would be fun for us to start doing this maybe more often. We have our bingo table for what is going to happen in this episode. So we're going to read aloud what we wrote down for our bingo table.
We haven't told each other.
She has hers, I have mine. They might cross over, I don't know. And then we will get points and see who wins at the end. You can go first.
Okay. Here are my bingos.
Let's hear it.
Okay, first one. Galadriel is visibly angry. Okay. Second one.
There you go. Yeah. Visibly angry, but only in one way. Right? There you go.
Harfoots betray each other. Halbrand is Sauron. I don't see it. I know a lot of people think
the Harfoots betray each other?
It could happen. Yeah.
Why are you saying that ironically?
Well, they already have. They've been so mean to each other. They're like, you guys will leave you to die. Just kidding, we're all family.
So you're kind of joking around.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of mine are silly. The stranger stares sadly.
Wow, you're gonna win.
Balrog attacks the dwarves. Isildur reunites with his bestie horse. Bronwyn almost dies.
Wow, you joked for a lot of these. You were genuinely being serious.
It's just funny. These things have happened so many times. We actually get a mention of rings.
Okay.
And orcs chant something.
I feel like you were being kind of salty when you were writing these.
I was just trying to be funny.
Okay. Well, mine are actually legitimate predictions. So we'll see. All right. So
Some of mine are legit.
They are. Yeah, they could be. Yeah.
Whatever. I was going with like more just like things that will happen, not like super serious
Gotcha.
points.
Okay.
I was like just things that will happen at
Here's
some point.
all right. Here's mine. Ready? Halbrand and Galadriel smooch. They smooch.
No. That would be.
Yeah.
No.
One more song.
I almost put that. I almost put the Harfoots sing a song.
There's another song. Sauron is revealed before the final shot. So he's not like the final shot or something like that.
Yeah.
Sauron is revealed before the final shot. All right?
Okay.
We are given no answers about the stranger.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No answers.
That's good.
There's just a battle, and then they're like, this guy saved us from these like cultists or something, and then there's no answers. Only speculation.
He just goes home with them.
Only speculation. Maybe there's like some hints still dropped, but no definitive answers. There is an end of credits scene. The Khazad-dûm storyline with the Balrog is over. We're not going to touch it again. It ended with the Balrog.
Yeah, that could be too.
It ended, and now we're just wrapping up the other storylines.
Yeah.
Galadriel realizes Celebrimbor isn't dead, preferably after she smooches Halbrand.
Preferably.
Yeah, preferably she doesn't find out that Celebrimbor isn't dead, and then go smooches Halbrand.
Oh. Yeah. If they both happen.
A ring of power, one ring of power for the elves is forged with the mithril shard given to Elrond.
Wow, these are specific. One
more. Tom Bombadil and Goldberry save everyone.
Okay.
That was my one joke. That was my... Hey, you had all of yours were joking ones, so that was my joking one. That was my joking one. All right, we have talked long enough, and we have prepared ourselves for this episode and waited long enough. So we are going to jump into it. But before we do so, we want to invite you to join our Patreon to help support the channel and also get some special perks here and there. We try to do that as much as possible and be active when we can. We both have lives very much outside of this whole YouTube situation, so it can get busy. But the Patreon definitely helps support the channel so that we can devote more and more time to it. So if you want to help the channel, if you like to see our reactions, if you want to keep seeing reactions from us, if you want to help keep the channel alive, really, go ahead and visit our Patreon. And of course, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do all those things. And yes, nice. Let us watch Rings of Power season finale.
Stares sadly. Instantly get one. Instant point. What? Shut up. Tom Bombadil?
No, that's Goldberry. This is Tom Bombadil, and that's Goldberry. Just kidding.
My horse in Skyrim is named Goldberry.
Nori.
What? What?
It's the cultists. Yeah.
Oh, creepy!
That is so creepy.
Oh, that is so unsettling. What do they want?
Maybe this is Sauron and they want to awaken his form to realize who he is or something. I don't know. Just a thought.
What? You just called it! Wait, what the heck? You literally just called it. Unless they just think he's Sauron, but he's not. That's so weird.
That's weird. That is like the last thing that I thought. That's not Sauron. That's not Sauron.
Remembering
the reason I'm saying that is because that is such a, like, that feels so, like, much of a red herring. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
The only thing was that there was the cold fire. The cold fire and the fireflies died. But other than that, there's been no sign of evil. Other than he's lost control of his magic or whatever. But she's been like, you're not, you're good. All these things.
Right.
And he doesn't even know who he is. We have a
Maybe
piece.
there was some way of doing more.
We're gonna both get a point.
Yeah.
Less.
Back to your people.
Galadriel?
They're like, where did you...
I know.
What is
Why are you here?
I did not cross that bitter ocean, only to drown now. Nor will I let you.
Who's there?
Is this Anatar?
Who's there? Reveal yourself.
Oh, it's Halbrand.
Is Galadriel here?
No.
Halbrand is Sauron. Wait, no, he's the real Sauron.
Resting.
He's about to give him
On his
the idea to forge the ring.
Shut up.
This
I'm telling you.
Stop.
No,
was the
this is
workshop
it.
of Celebrimbor.
The Celebrimbor.
Yes,
He's
that's
not
what's
here,
happening
is he?
right now.
Okay, but
never
there
dreamed
was
that
that
I'd
bit
get the
about
chance to
him
see him in
being
person.
super interested in being a blacksmith
He was
and
Smith.
stuff.
No, I know. That's what I mean. It's all coming full circle. I don't know.
I just
like your
can't
artistry.
see him as Sauron. That'd
I
be
know.
so
I don't
weird.
see it either.
gemstone.
I'm just saying.
This is a peculiar ore. What is it? Have you tried combining it with other ores to better stretch it out?
That wouldn't be suitable for this ore.
Why not?
Because in the amounts we need, it would too greatly dilute its unique qualities.
Call it a gift.
He's Sauron.
Dude, this is weird.
A circular form will be ideal, allowing the light to
All
arc
right.
back upon itself in one unbroken round, building to a power that is all but
Interesting.
compounded. I almost had it sooner. It was only in speaking with the Southlander that I
The
realized
low man? This idea was his.
we are on the cusp of crafting a new kind.
Galadriel's realizing something.
Not of strength, but of spirit.
I don't know. It just looked like that for a
Of
second.
Flesh, but over flesh.
Yeah. Oh!
Wait, who said that?
He just quoted Adar.
Whoa.
Oh, what?
I am sorry, Lord Celebrimbor.
Whoa.
Are they
You
making
my command to
Celebrimbor
disband
Sauron?
the city.
Who is Sauron?
Lindon,
Because he literally just said everything
all of you.
that Adar said. Who is Sauron? I can't.
Power over flesh. Where did you hear them?
I was conferring with my smiths, I think. I
Halbrand.
believe those are my words.
Was Halbrand with you?
I guess Halbrand is Sauron. Feels very obvious now. And I feel like I have to eat my words, and I apologize because I was like so unconvinced. But now I am.
Unless it's a red herring.
Unless this is the
again,
red
and
herring,
she's
yes.
suspicious of him, but it's all like a
I
setup.
have no idea.
You pushed me to heights that no one else could have. I will never forget that.
Don't do it.
Oh,
And I'll see to it that no one else does either.
What does that mean?
The
You didn't
more
get your
your
point.
powers
I know.
awaken, the more the veil will weaken. The third one's gone. Where'd the third one go? Better 2 than 3.
what are y'all gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Oh,
What?
that's the real stranger. That's the girl.
Okay. I hate that.
Brandyfoot! Run! Ah!
Is he gonna die?
He's just hanging on to the leg. Oh!
I just said, is he gonna die? And he died 2 seconds later.
Wow! No! I kind of feel sad for him now.
No.
Sick!
So creepy.
That was actually cool. That was great.
Only you can show what you are. You choose by what you do.
The Iron Giant.
Stop. Wait, he's.
How is he not bleeding out?
I'm confused. He had a sword in his gut.
You know it.
I'm Gandalf.
He is a wizard!
The wizard stuff. The embers are so beautiful. It's like Christmas.
From shadow you came. To shadow I bid you return.
He is not Sauron. He is the other.
Gandalf!
He
is.
I'm good.
Yeah! Whoa! That was cool!
Whoa!
Whoa!
What the heck?
Istari is what wizards are.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he is a wizard. Of course, everyone knew it.
But is he Gandalf?
Yeah. I am good. So this guy's dead, right?
Sadek?
Yeah.
I just thought, what if they put text on the screen that
Shut
says
up.
the stranger and then it dissolves to Gandalf?
Stop. This is a tender moment.
Sorry.
It's all right, proud fellow. The missus will be waiting.
Oh.
But which wizard is he, I wonder?
Which wizard?
My father once told me that the way of the faithful is committing to pay the price, even if the cost cannot be known, and trusting that in the end it will be worth it. Come what may.
Come what may.
Captain, Númenóreans in sight.
So sweet.
Confirmation for the both of them that, hey, we are on Team Faithful. Straight through, you know, non-compromising. Once Farazan sees that Miriel is blind, though, he's gonna take over, I bet.
Oh, mourning flags? Did he die?
Oh, maybe.
It's all black?
Yeah.
Dude. It's Jafar.
It may take time.
Time? We don't have time.
Perhaps that is enough for today. Perhaps we've been pushing ourselves too hard.
Pushing ourselves too hard.
Oh my gosh!
Why is
That's
he
the trouble.
We've been doing it all inside out.
Halbrand is Sauron!
This is so weird.
Dismantle this. We'll start again.
I'm sorry. This.
Halbrand is Sauron! The
Dang
people
it, I'm
who...
about to be wrong, aren't I? I was so convinced that he was not.
But you said that he was, ironically,
Ironically.
in your thing.
It might make me win.
We're making two.
2 crowns.
Not exactly. It'll need to be something smaller. Come, see for yourself.
Not until
Rings
you tell
of
me who
power.
you are.
Ooh.
Ah.
You know who I am.
Who you really are.
Galadriel, I'm afraid I don't.
Yeah.
There is no king of the Southlands.
Oh my gosh!
What?
The line was broken. The last man to bear your crest died over 1,000 years ago. He had no heir.
Oh gosh. Here we go, here we go.
No, on the raft, you saved me.
On the raft, you saved me.
You convinced Miriel to save the men of Middle-earth.
You convinced her. I wanted to remain in Númenor.
You fought beside me.
Against your enemy. And mine.
Dude.
Adar. He is Sauron! What?
Tell me your name.
Stop. What?
In that time,
Oh my god.
I've had many names.
This is so weird.
I cannot believe this is happening.
Dang, I was wrong. I thought it was so
Hey,
silly.
I'm eating my words.
This is so weird.
I'm eating my words.
Putting a game system.
So that whole bit about Adar saying, or Halbrand saying, "Remember me" or something.
Yep.
Oh gosh, this is so crazy.
No, you died, along with countless others because of him.
No, Galadriel. He was seeking a power,
Order.
not to destroy
Order.
Middle-earth, but to heal it.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I whispered to you under this very tree? Touch the darkness once more.
That's not what he said.
Well, he's recalling it because he said those who have touched the darkness know how to differentiate.
My brother is dead. Because of you.
Galadriel. Why would you say that? Why would you say such a thing? Galadriel. Galadriel. Come back to me. Galadriel. Look at me!
This is so nuts.
This is so unexpected to me.
You know who I am.
It's unexpected, like it's expected because everyone was saying it, but I just really felt like it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt too obvious to where I was like, no, it can't be, but...
I felt the light of the one again.
Iluvatar?
Yeah.
And I knew if ever I was to be forgiven, that I had to heal everything that I had helped ruin.
No penance.
He sincerely thinks he's healing.
You have done.
That is not what you believe. Whatever I'd done before, I could be free of it
You
now.
deceived me.
I told you the truth. I told you that I had done evil, and you did not care. Because you knew that our past meant nothing. Weighed against our future.
You would have a queen!
You would have a queen! Yeah!
All of
that was cool!
I alone can see your greatness.
You would make me a tyrant.
I would make you a queen. Fair as the sea and the sun.
What?
Stronger than the foundations of
What?
And you, my king. And that is why I will never be at your side.
You have no choice. Without me, your people will fade, and the shadow will spread and darken to cover all the world. What will they do when you tell them that you are my ally? When you tell them that Sauron lives because of you!
And you will die because of me!
This is really metal.
What is happening?
Deceiver!
Galadriel, stop! Elrond! It's Elrond! What has happened?
What's going on?
Did he try to drown her?
Galadriel!
Did he just leave her
Yeah,
there?
something like that.
So, do we proceed?
No. We must make 3.
I need gold and silver of the most exquisite
They're
quality.
gonna melt down the dagger, I bet.
I need gold and silver from Valinor.
Yeah.
In your tongue, that means wise one. Or
He's acting so different when he's talking.
I know.
wizard.
It's weird.
Wizard. I was wrong about so many things. So many things.
So many things.
Just don't make him Gandalf. Make him a new character. Make him a blue wizard. Bye, Poppy. Sing a song as I go away.
Did you pack your lantern? Of course.
I need to get one more. I need to get at least one more point. I didn't get many.
Goodbye. Wait! Hurry!
Sam! Frodo!
You'll come back. Promise. You promise to look after everyone. Of course I will, Anklehead. You're my best friend in this whole wide, wild world. I'd do anything for you. The world's not that wide, Poppy. It's just that we're so bleeding small. Not to mention I haven't an inkling which way to go.
Inkling.
Ah,
The Inklings.
there's a sweet smell on the air this way. When in doubt, always follow your nose.
Gandalf. Cause that's a Gandalf quote.
Why does he say that?
Cause when they're in Moria and he doesn't know which way to go. And he's like, The air does not feel so foul, smell so foul up here. When in doubt, Peregrine took. Always follow your nose.
Look, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So is that Gandalf then?
It's gotta be. They're being really obvious about
Yeah,
it.
they wouldn't say that line if it wasn't. Yeah, it's Gandalf.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I was wrong on so many levels. Here we go. The Eye of Sauron!
Whoa. Guys, don't get so excited. This is exactly what he wanted.
What are you trying to tell me, show? What are you telling me?
Bro, so pretty.
Oh my gosh. I might be realizing something right now. What if the Master Ring was already created? Because she said forged in secret a Master Ring. You know what I mean? So what if the One Ring is already created by Sauron? What I've always imagined, like, they put on the ring and then they're like, oh my gosh, Sauron's trying to control us. So, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Halbrandy?
Okay, I was wrong. I thought that they were gonna put on the ring and be like, oh no!
This
But
is so
I was wrong.
crazy. Another song. Oh.
Doomed to die.
The last shot was
One
Sauron.
for the Dark Lord of this dark throne. In the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Okay.
Where the shadows lie. And in the darkness bind them. In the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
Are you having fun with that?
I am. All right, looking
What
back.
just happened?
Looking back, here's what I got right. Halbrand and Galadriel did not smooch.
Halbrand is Sauron.
One more song I got, so 1 point. Oh, we didn't check to see if there's an end credit scene. Or yeah, we sat through all the credits. Okay, so got that wrong. I've got one more song. Sauron is revealed before the final shot. The Khazad-dûm storyline is over. Ring of Power for the elves is forged with Mithril and given the Mithril shard given to Elrond. So I got 4 out of 9 right.
It's a tie.
Really?
Yeah.
No, what did you get right?
Galadriel is visibly angry. Halbrand is Sauron. The stranger.
I can't believe you did that ironically.
I know. The stranger stares sadly, and we actually get a mention of rings. The other one's not.
No Isildur at all in this. Oh, wow.
Okay.
That was actually unbelievable. What they...
I need to meditate on this. I need to digest it.
I felt, because there were a lot of people saying Halbrand is Aragorn, but reverse. They're doing a play on Aragorn, right? And so what I thought is I thought that because they were doing that, they couldn't be doing the Sauron thing at the same time. And that was the they were leaning so heavily into he was the king of the Southlands that he was denying that it was like a edgier Aragorn character. You know what I mean?
They literally had that whole, like, we have a king now! And then, like, literally 0.2 seconds after that, Mordor was made.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm saying is like, they were leaning so heavily into the Aragorn, edgy Aragorn, right? That I was like, I just believed that that was more accurately what they were trying to do. And that all of that wasn't a red herring. But the actual archetype of the king coming back, the Aragorn archetype, was the red herring. And they leaned so hard into that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, he can't be Sauron, because that just doesn't make sense, because they're leaning so hard in the Return of the King archetype, just edgier. And so that's why I was like, it makes more sense that he's the Witch King, that he's one of the kings of men that gets the ring.
Yeah.
It makes more sense that he's like either the king of the dead, you know, all of the ghosts in Return of the King, they have this like kind of like edgy king, right? But my question is, it does, and then the other thing that didn't make sense to me as to why Halbrand would be Sauron is, what is this whole situation about him being floating off in the sea and he just happens upon Galadriel? Like, was this his plan from the very beginning, or was this he kind of like, we need to get more answers with that in the future seasons, because it's like one of these things where, was he this all planned out, or he literally was just planning this from day like as he was going along?
Or he knew that she would jump off the ship, and so he was like, he
knew that she was being sent away. So it's one of these things where there's all of this situation where these cultists are trying to find Sauron, and they're like, oh, Sauron doesn't know who he is, we have to go wake him up. Clearly, they don't think they've already done that. So at some point or another, Halbrand didn't know who he was. And then he discovered who he was. Whether that happened before the show or during the show, I don't know. But I'm just saying, why was he on this raft? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he just happens, like, Sauron knew that she was going to the Undying Lands. Sauron knew that she was going to jump off. Sauron knew that this raft that had been destroyed by the sea monster was going to end up with her. Sauron knew that they were going to be found in Númenor. Like, he said he didn't. Someone explain this to me, because I'm confused as to how his intentionality worked out. You know what I mean? In the story. Or was he literally up until the point where he agrees? That was the other thing. See, that's the other thing. He's sitting alone in the forge he's like, no, Galadriel, I'm not going back to Middle Earth. I'm staying in Númenor. I'm not going back to Middle Earth. Mm-hmm. And then there's this whole scene where he's sitting in the forge and he throws the little pouch down. And like, he is like, no, I'm leaving this life behind. I'm going to go tell them, like, screw you, I'm staying here in Númenor. And then he's like, no, I'll go back and grab the pouch. And that was another scene that convinced me that, like, oh no, they're doing like a character arc with this new character.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, where I was like, all of the filmmaking signs were telling me they were legitimately like showing an inner conflict with him.
Mm-hmm.
All of the conversations between him and Galadriel in that with the firelight and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, all of the inner conflictedness, and now he's like evil, and he's been evil the whole time. So that makes me feel like he has not been evil this entire time, in the sense that he genuinely Sauron genuinely wanted to stay in Númenor and just be a fort, like a blacksmith.
Like, maybe that was calling to him, but he didn't know why. Like, he wanted to be a blacksmith.
Yeah. And he like destroys those guys in the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like trying to understand what is the motivation of Sauron.
Maybe his awakening was when Mordor was created, when the volcano went off.
Yeah, maybe.
Like maybe that woke him up to who he really was.
But that wasn't clear to me.
I don't know.
That like, oh, I realize.
Well, everyone was like,
that would make sense to me.
Everyone was like, oh, there's a change in him after that because when he's injured and he's lying on the table and it's like he seems different. Maybe he did awaken. They awoke Sauron in him.
Yeah.
Something. They awoke his consciousness.
The motivations just feel weird to me with Halbrand's decisions throughout. So
but also
maybe they're just saying he didn't know. It's not clear to me.
But then why would he be pretending that he was the lost king? Like why? Unless he thought that he was. Or he was like, unless he really did just genuinely take this weird satchel crest off some dead man.
Who knows what that is?
And then he was like, I'm just gonna say that I'm this person's heir now. Like, or something. I don't know.
I'm also confused. So Galadriel in episode 3 is like, I need information on the Southlands from Númenor. And then she recognizes the crest. And she realizes that they're trying to turn the Southlands into Mordor. And then she goes to Halbrand and she's like, you have the crest of the king. This says they have no king, so that means you're the king. And the way that they play it up is like, he genuinely thinks that he is the king.
Mm-hmm.
But he genuinely thinks that he's running away in an Aragorn-esque fashion, which, by the way, is not in the books. That's a movie thing. Mm. Aragorn is the a ranger of the North. He's not embraced the king, but that's less because of his personal feeling that he doesn't want to be the king. It's more of the feeling of it's not his time yet. Mm. So the way that they play up Aragorn in the films is this hesitation on behalf of he doesn't know if he's worthy of it. Aragorn is much more of a Chad in the good sense in the books, where he's like, no, I know like what my calling is. Mm. Anyway, so they're playing on that in the in this more from the movies. But anyway, I feel like there's got to be a lot of discussion regarding his motivations, because that's my biggest hang up. That was the biggest reason why I was like, no way he's Sauron, because they are archetypically playing him up to be like Aragorn, to fill that role. And they're showing this inner conflict where he's like, no, I'm not leaving Númenor. I'm going to stay here. You'd think that if it was this was all Sauron's doing from, if it was Agatha all along type thing, then it would have been the situation where he did seem to be going with the flow a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But again, they're doing smart things because there's so many red herrings. They're at the beginning of it. They're like, oh, Gandalf is Sauron. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm accepting that he's Sauron. And then Halbrand is like, for normies, this is going to be wild, because people who didn't know to think like, oh yeah, Sauron helped with the forging of the rings as this like Anatar character. Kind of sad that they didn't do Anatar.
Like they did a big change from the.
I get that, but people who know Tolkien, the background of Tolkien and the Silmarillion, will know to expect that sort of thing. So as soon as Halbrand really shows interest in Celebrimbor, you're like, oh, he's Sauron. You know what I mean? But other people really aren't going to get it until much later, in the episode. Wow. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking a lot. My brain is like moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour regarding this show. It's so crazy to me.
Nothing happened with Isildur's sister. She went to look at the thing and then we never saw her again.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
They did a lot to set up the next season. They really expect that people will be coming back for the next season.
It's very...
And I imagine people will be. I'm not saying that they won't, but they really are like, hey, we're coming back. We're not wrapping this up tightly.
Yeah. I think, like, overall, looking back at the whole season, I think the things that I liked the most about the show are the, like, moments of, like I said before at one point, it's not afraid to have heart and to
be Tolkien-esque.
Yeah, and to lean into the kind of like wholesome relationship focused loyalty, like those virtues and that like sense of from like times gone by that I feel like they don't showcase that as much in filmmaking these days. Like there's something about it that feels kind of nostalgic, like
the kind
the
of
long,
cheesy
lingering
earnestness
shots, yes, and the earnestness and the just like sweetness.
Cheesy in a good way, not cheesy in the same way as the end of the last episode, but
no, but like yeah, just that kind of like not being afraid to like say something, not being afraid to like showcase these like long-lasting values and to like to have characters be like genuine and like sincere in their like friendship and that kind of thing. Like I really liked that, and I felt like there were some scenes like the one with Elendil and Muriel where it's just like you feel that or like the Harfoots, and it's like so like it's like touching.
The relationships are good, like between like they are very Tolkien-esque. And they pulled off the feeling that hey, everyone genuinely is committed to each other and loves each other, between Elrond and Galadriel, between Elrond and Durin, between the Harfoots. Only the two Harfoots that we've been following, mind you, because truly, like, I can't get behind the fact that they are like, this guy broke his foot, leave him behind. You know, that feels inconsistent to me. But yeah, the relationships are definitely.
Yeah, and obviously the visuals have been lovely. The costumes, the designs, the sets, the CGI.
As a whole,
the cinematography.
It is more interesting. In all of the ways that you're saying, it is more interesting of a production than, and I said this early on in the show, it's more interesting of a production than The Hobbit was. It's like more engaging than what they do. So in my opinion, it's the best Lord of the Rings content that we have had since the original.
But not better.
Films, when I'm talking about film media, but it's not better, obviously. But I do think it stands a bit above The Hobbit, because The Hobbit was so indulgent. This was pretty indulgent, but The Hobbit was so indulgent and so drawn out that it feels. Some people will probably put it on par. I probably prefer this if I were like wanting to show someone something having to do with the Lord of the Rings, and I had to choose between the Hobbit films or this series. This series is more engaging to me, especially in the way in which it captures so many plot points of the Second Age. It feels like really rich with Tolkien lore as a foundation, which I think is good.
Yeah. So the visuals, the music, the characters, it's just with like some aspects of the plot and the writing where I just still feel confused or like, why did they do that? Or like I still
odd
feel
choices, just odd choices.
I still feel really weird that they just left Isildur out there. Like, that just feels so unnatural to me.
Yeah.
The way that happened. And
Speaking of relationships.
Well, yeah,
and loyalty.
and like just the whole fallout from the whole after the eruption, the way that like everything happened.
Galadriel just leaves that guy burning there.
It was just so weird. Like, and just kind of, it felt contrived, like not like natural.
I mean, this episode should have been the follow-up to the last episode. We just didn't even need the last episode. We needed scenes from the last episode, but they should have made this an hour and 45-minute finale.
Yeah.
And just pulled the scenes from the last episode that we needed and put them in here. Also, there were some decisions in this episode that I just felt like were just strange. Why do you have this all-powerful wizard standing there while this guy's bleeding out? Like, I get that he's like, oh, I get to see the missus again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like...
Well, does he not realize that he can do that? Like, or does
The thing is you can't show a character... You cannot show a character walking up to a completely dead thing and doing a spell, and then the next day... the dead thing has turned into multiplied living things.
That's true.
It's like this one dead tree is now like blossoming with all of the fruits that you can imagine.
He try?
And he's like, maybe I could help.
I just sent these creatures back to the spirit world or something.
Yeah.
And I can control fire and bring things back from the dead, but not.
But I can't at least like walk up and at least touch you and see what happens. It's just, I'll stand here while you bleed out. Like, I don't know. Like, that felt like it was like, why? Why does this character need to die? He doesn't need to die. They're just trying to get you to feel something, or like there's some sense of stakes involved with this plot line. And so...
He should have died faster then.
He should have died immediately.
That's what I was like, why isn't he dead yet?
Exactly. Or he should have been at least bleeding out on the floor, like, you know what I mean? They should have ran up to him, and then he'd be like, "Oh no, go save him!" in the middle of the battle or something, and then he's dead by the end of the battle, you know. But it's like, no, I'll watch the sunset while the wizard stands here.
Sunrise.
Sunrise, yeah.
I feel like there's something else. I'm trying to like remember. So many things happen.
I do got to say the reveal of Sauron, especially when they're on the raft and he's talking about.
Yeah, that was cool.
And they started screaming at each other and stuff. I was like, pretty sick. Like, I don't know if I agree with it.
It was interesting.
I don't know if I agree with the take. It felt a little like melodramatic, but it was cool. It felt like it moved me in the way that the scene was meant to. It felt tense. So
he basically was saying, Morgoth died. I realized all the terrible things I'd done serving him.
Right.
He was evil.
Right.
I needed to
repent.
Yes.
Which to a certain extent is consistent, I think, with the text. I think.
Yeah. So I need to fix everything and restore order and heal the world. And so join me, basically. Together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Anyway,
he pulled a Sith Lord.
So, but also the whole, I'm still confused on the whole the elves are dying thing. Like, I don't know. Like,
let me explain
how
it. Let me explain it.
Are the rings gonna just magically heal everyone?
It is true that magic fades from Middle Earth along with the elves, and that's part of the story of the elves is that they fade. And they even recognize that. And part of the attempt of the rings in the original story is to consolidate this sense of power and restorative magic to Middle Earth to keep the strength of the elves present in Middle Earth. So that is in the story. What was confusing about this, that is part of the story, is that the elves need to at some point retreat to Valinor. That's just part of it. You know what I mean? What was confusing about this was the rapid acceleration of that seemed very sudden and random. And then the fact that Mithril was the solution because that was not present. The Rings of Power being a solution to that sort of thing was, but not Mithril. As far as I know.
So after he left, she was basically just like, I'm not going to tell them that he's Sauron. Just that he betrayed me somehow. And we need to still make the rings in order to heal everyone.
Well, I think...
But really, for her, she was like, okay, we need to do this so that we can fight him.
Yeah, I think, again, the idea...
But Elrond realized why she was doing it.
Right. And the rings are not... the rings for the elves were part of the Sauron's manipulation, but they never were fully... the elves had greater power over the influence of the rings. And I assume the reason she didn't say, oh, he's Sauron, is because how crazy she was throughout the entire show about Sauron. So if she immediately was like, it's Sauron, they would be like, oh, brother, like a boy who cried wolf type thing. So then she was like, I'm just going to keep my cool and I'm going to proceed as planned and see what happens. A little bit more of heavy. It is a character arc because it's less of a heavy hand on her part. She's deciding I'm going to have faith to see whatever is going to happen through and be a little bit more cautious and careful about it than run and yell that Sauron is Halbrand. You know what I mean? And she's finally willing to, in that same way, melt down the dagger as a representation of that. So that was good.
Like her motivation is changing. She's saying, goodbye to her brother and accepting like his loss. Yeah. And saying, okay, I need to do this for the world now, not just for me. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that was strong. As one note as she was throughout the entire show, they definitely gave her a resolution to that conflict and changed her sense. So
yeah. So Halbrand was the one who was telling him those lines to say.
Yeah, I guess so. But he clearly wasn't being, again, he wasn't being like completely, he wasn't being like nice. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like, oh, I have good intentions and you don't agree with them. He was like clearly like controlling Celebrimbor because Celebrimbor was like, wait, what? I don't know where I heard that, you know? So it's like he must have said that like kind of like whispering into his ear type of thing, like spiritually, but not necessarily physically. Wow. I can't believe it, guys. I don't know if you've all been able to tell, but these are supposed to be the trees of Valinor. I tried to make them a little bit more colorful this time because we hadn't gotten any comments about that, and so I didn't know how obvious it was.
He wants you to be proud.
Well, we try and keep things festive for whatever we're watching. So.
I was wrong.
I was wrong. We were wrong.
You can admit it. I thought it was so silly.
I did too.
But.
I still, like, until I get those answers, I still am going to feel like, why were they framing it like this was a genuine again, I'm not talking about like the idea of like, I'm not saying I don't understand twists in movies. Obviously any twist requires some sort of genuineness. I'm saying that when you have a story, you have different characters filling different archetypical roles, and your audience won't always know what those roles are at the start of the story, but you begin to give them like a sense of what those roles are as they watch the show. And the sense that we were getting was, this is Aragorn, edgy Aragorn. And then they were leaning into that so heavily and showing an inner conflict where when he was alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, no way. Because why would they be showing us a character that is like, I want to stay in Númenor when he's alone? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I'm not saying that clearly you can't, like, you have to like give people false information for there to be a twist, or, you know, information that is hidden for there to be a twist. But it felt like so much of a red herring that he was the Aragorn type, edgy Aragorn, that it just feels really out of left field for me. Even though I heard so many people say like, oh, he's into crafting. He is into manipulating his enemies into getting what he wants. He's persuasive. He's handsome. He's close to Galadriel. You know what I mean? Like,
hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. So anyway, that was
I'm
nuts.
excited to see what the internet thinks of this.
Yeah.
You always have many thoughts, so tell us your thoughts. Did you call it? Did you think he was Sauron, or were you like us and completely
I feel like everyone is
surprised?
going to be like, you guys were so dumb. He definitely was Sauron.
Yes, I know. You can all tell us I told you so.
I just felt like it just didn't make sense from a writing standpoint. I'm thinking about this on a filmmaking standpoint, not an experiential standpoint. I'm thinking about it in the sense of like, it defies all, like,
they're specifically placed there to mislead you. Those like certain shots and moments.
Yeah, they are, but in it almost like it denies trust with your audience, because as an audience member you expect to be fed information, like, especially if a twist is good, that gives you like an idea that like, yeah, like this makes sense,
thread to follow.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
then you're like, yeah, I can't really believe anything that I see because it might just all be fake.
Right, like,
or something.
Like, as a storyteller, you don't want to completely mislead your audience and then tell them, oh, this is really the thing. Yeah. You want to give them the ability to genuinely believe it before you reveal it.
It's like,
you know, and
I just had like for some reason this example popped into my head of the movie The Prestige, and I feel like that movie does a really good job of
not giving you false information
because it's so much more satisfying when you have like a big twist or a big reveal that you can watch the movie again and say, oh my gosh, look at all these clues they were giving us, or look at all of these things that were in plain sight all along.
And it makes sense all the way through.
Well done. Yeah, it logically follows so well, but it's so well done in the writing and the editing that like you had no idea when it was happening. But like looking back, it all like connects. And I know some people
we didn't even spoil The Prestige. We didn't even spoil it. Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are going to say like, oh yeah, but we were saying that about Halbrand because of all these like different clues about his, you know, whatever. But I just like, yeah, from a filmmaking perspective, they could have done it differently to make it feel a little bit more like congruent and less like what just happened.
Just take out that shot for me. Take out the shot, at least of him being conflicted in the background by himself. And take out the moments where it makes you seem like, where it really genuinely feels like they're leaning into the redemption of this like outcast king arc. You know what I mean? Because they were like, this is the train that you're on. Psych, you're not on this train. You know? This is a completely different train. Disguised as this train, and I'm like, what? I thought you put me on this train. Anyway.
I feel like that's yeah, maybe they did get what they wanted because they got so many people just talking about it and so many people theorizing that like everyone was saying everyone was Sauron because nobody really knew what was going on. And they were like, oh yeah, no, this person, and like everyone was kind of having fun trying to figure out the mystery, which is cool. But the mystery did go on for a while. Like we said, that's one of maybe the weak points is that there was a lot of extra content and maybe some extra episodes, or like it could have been cut down to be more cohesive. And it got to a point where I like, you know, this episode, I was literally just questioning everything. I was like, oh, the stranger is Sauron. No, wait, Halbrand is Sauron. No, wait, neither of them is Sauron.
Yeah, I thought Celebrimbor was Sauron for a second.
Sauron.
I was like, wait, is Celebrimbor Sauron?
Like, it gets you to a point where you're just like, I don't even know what's
okay,
going
wait,
on.
here was the other thing. The reason why I was refusing to believe that Halbrand was Sauron. The other reason I was refusing to believe that was because of, I did not think that they were going to deviate from the Anatar thing.
Yeah.
So I was expecting an elf hidden and trying to, like, I was expecting more close reading of the source material. And so I thought that if Halbrand was Sauron, he would have to cease being Halbrand and then become Anatar. But instead they just didn't do the Anatar thing. And so that was the other thing, was I thought I was expecting a more close reading of what I knew the source material to be. And so that was another thing where I was like, well, he could be Sauron, but Anatar is going to do all of this stuff. So then how do you answer that? But they just so that was weird. And that's why I was like, okay, wait, maybe if they're not doing the Anatar thing at all, maybe they're making Celebrimbor Sauron for a second, because he's getting so frustrated and flustered, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're trying to say that he is. So it kind of plays to the joke of everyone being like, Nori is Sauron, you know, like all these people are Sauron. Anyway, we have talked long enough about this show. It is time. It's time. Guys, it's been fun. Let us know what you thought about this.
We already said this and then we went on another tangent.
I know, but now finally, let us comment below. Let us know what you thought of the season as a whole, this episode in particular, what you think about the twist. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk. And
please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe for more reactions. We're watching Andor right now, and we will
such a good show.
Start more things in the future.
Well,
it's
starting
very good.
We're starting Tales of the Jedi, I think. Tales of the Jedi is coming out.
Oh my gosh. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So subscribe for that. Check out our Patreon. All the things. And thank you. It's been a fun ride.
We'll see you for next season. If you're not watching our other reactions, see you for next season of The Rings of Power. Bye, guys.